Welcome to Sunday's video, where we take a look at a few little things that have happened last week, and then in the second part of the video, we go to your comments. And there's some juicy comments this week, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. First of all, let's look at how not only Trudeau and Freeland and Guilbeault are the lying, or the not lying, should I say, avoiding questions MPs, because Jenna Sudds has probably been on a recent Liberal course on how not to answer a question when she's asked about the National Schools Programme. The food programme where the Liberals think that they're going to feed your kids because now nobody else, no families can afford to feed their kids, and the government's going to have to step in and feed them for you. Yeah, I know, crazy, eh? Make a problem, solve the problem. Okay, make a problem, but don't solve the problem because you've not done anything yet. Anyway, let's have a listen to what she's got to say.
So you're probably asking yourself, how do we pay for this? Well, I challenge this. I would argue that this is one of the most important investments that we can make as a government. Investments in our children. These are investments in the future. And as a government, I am proud that we are making these investments in our kids because we believe in the future of this country. We will continue to fight for Canadians and Canadian families to ensure that your children have the best possible start at life.
By not answering the question, she didn't answer the question. The question was, how is Canada going to pay for this? And she categorically did not answer the question. Yeah, she's been to the Liberal school of not answering questions, school of questions, school. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to my MP. Yeah, he's the MP of Ajax, Holland. So True North asked about the Liberals' declining poll numbers. Health Minister Mark Holland rants about Pierre Poilievre running a circus and failing to have solutions, but merely pointing out what isn't working. Let's have a listen to what Holland has to say.
How confident are you about does your party have to change your strategy over the summer, you think, to combat these polls?
Well, first of all, if we're focused on polls, we're focused on the wrong things. At the end of the day, the folks that I'm talking to aren't worried about whether or not we win or lose. They're worried about their country.
They're not focusing on polls. Well, polls are what people actually think about what's going on in the country without having him actually in your face, or Holland actually going and asking Liberals, which is what Ajax is. It's a mostly Liberal area. He will be going round door to door asking them. If you go on my or on the Ajax town Facebook group, you will see it's a very, very far left. It's a very far left group.
In an extremely difficult times, I think that what we need to demonstrate is where our heart and our minds are on focused on getting things delivered for folks. My job is to get dental care delivered, pharmacare delivered, improving our health system, making sure that we deal with the crisis in primary care. And I think if I spend any attention focused on anything else, then I'm missing the opportunity I was so gratefully given by Canadians. We had an election. It determined that we are the government. We need to govern. The time for politics is when there's an election.
We had an election, and they were voted a minority government status. And then they decided to team up with the NDP, as we all know, and created this monster that we now call the LNDP. And that's how they're ruling over everybody. We don't really have a say in what they're doing. They're throwing huge taxes onto everyone. 23% carbon tax. The tax on a second home is absolutely ridiculous. And it affects everybody. If you see my nurse video just last week, go and watch that. And we'll talk about the comments on that in a moment on the comments section. Yeah. He's not helping Canadians at all, especially regular Canadians, regular middle-class Canadians.
I would say that the other party, the Conservative Party, is singularly and only focused on elections and politics, and that would advantage them in a non-election period. But I think at some point in time, people are going to say, "What the heck have you done?" Other than looked on Google and say what the problems are in the world. Look.
Yeah, because Conservatives aren't in charge. What the official opposition's job to do is to call out all the bad things that the Liberal government or the majority government. It is a minority government becoming a majority government. But what they're supposed to do is call them out. If you look in Ontario, you'll see the NDP, because the only reason we've got NDP as the opposing party is because the Liberals have no party status in Ontario. Now, that's why the NDP call out Doug Ford, and this is why Poilievre is calling out the Liberals. Biggest difference is that the Liberals teamed up with NDP and they can make their own decisions on everything now, and we don't really have a say anymore.
A 10-year-old kid can go on Google and tell you what's wrong in the world. What are you doing to fix it? What are your solutions? And they're not Yeah, but I was in opposition. You're supposed to, you're supposed to be a government in waiting. You're supposed to provide solutions. When I was the critic for public safety and national security, I was making very clear proposals on what we needed to do to reduce crime, improve community safety, improve resiliency. The only thing I hear is, basically there's slogan machines over there. Pet the goat, ride the donkey. Like, what does any of that mean? They just saying slogans that have no meaning, that have no policy on them.
Who is saying pet the goat, ride the donkey? What? Who? Have you heard anyone say that yet? Pet the goat, ride the donkey. What is this guy smoking?
It's been a year.
Sure. Look, we're not right now. We're focused on doing a job, right? If somebody.
They're doing a really, really bad. I wish they wouldn't focus on doing a job and just maybe, go and do something else. Well, at the moment, they're all on holiday for God knows how long, for 6 months. So we'll see what happens after that, shall we?
Somebody sat outside of your cubicle criticizing you every day and offering no solutions. They could do a pretty good job before a performance evaluation in criticizing you. But at a certain point in time, rubber hits road, and you got to describe what you did in difficult moments to rise and meet the moment that you were in. Did you focus on politics, or do you focus on getting things done? Did you focus on what was wrong and broken, or did you focus on solutions? I'm very comfortable having that conversation. And I can tell you, people have told me I'm doomed and it's all over more time than I can count since I was.
He is doomed, and it will be all over. It's over! It will be over soon. And they're living out their last few months trying to absolutely, like Guilbeault. I think Northern Perspective opened up a can of worms on Guilbeault about how he's got fingers in a company that's actually profiting off taxpayers' money. You should go to Northern Perspective, go to Cypher and Fox, and that'll open your eyes.
Was elected in 2004. When I go and talk to people and I have real conversations with them, they're interested in solutions, and they are not paying attention to the circus that Poilievre is running around. I think when that circus, people walk into the big tent and see what this guy is peddling, the nonsense slogans, the complete absence of any kind of policy or idea or solutions for our world, that all he does is parrot what is negative in the world and point out what isn't working and what is difficult in the world. I don't think people are going to buy that. It doesn't worry me a bit. But
the 21 points behind in the polls, of course people are buying that. People are buying that they want Canada to be Canada again, and they want things to work properly in Canada, and they want everything to be where it was before 2015. People want Back to the Future. They want the Canada before the Liberals started to destroy Canada. That's the Canada people want. So no, he's talking out of his behind.
If I spend my time thinking about politics and polls, then I'm...
If I spend my time thinking about politics... What? Yeah, just stop talking. I would just stop talking. He's absolutely... What's the point in him talking?
Not doing my job. So I wake up every morning, I ask myself, how can I do right by the people that I serve?
Resign. Just resign. If you want to do right by people who you serve, resign. That would be a start. So this has got nearly 50,000 views and only 446 likes. So yeah, he's been ratioed, that's for sure. So let's have a look at some of the comments on this. Just before we move to our comments. He is leader of the opposition after all. It's his job to point that out. Exactly. The majority of Canadians look forward to this Liberal NDP, should be NDP, coalition being fired, and I pray to God held for high treason. There is so much going on with this government. It's yeah. How can this loser say anything positive anyway? The difficult times brought by the Liberals, period. The job of the leader of the opposition is to hold the government accountable and pointing out what isn't working. I don't know how he doesn't get this. I really don't. Clown. So, suck it up, Holland. You're toast in the next election. The ratio for Holland is so against him. It's absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Looking at Holland, like I say, I look at Holland a little bit more than some people because, well, he's my MP. Anyway, let's move on to the comments. Nurse versus government. The truth. Yeah, I interviewed my neighbour nurse, Jackie, and yeah, she told me about the home that she's borrowed some money on to buy. And yeah, you guys had some comments to say about capital gains tax and a few other things that the Liberals and some misinformation on super rich people buying homes. They're all investment bankers, apparently. That's what Trudeau's telling everyone. Anyway, nurse reveals true cost of Trudeau's cash tax grab. Nonny said,
I'm a chartered professional accountant and run my own public practice. I file taxes all day. Our finance minister has just outright lied. Increased rate of capital will hurt almost every Canadian.
Well, yeah, because it's an inheritance tax too. So if you get money, if you get over 250, a phone just fell off its mountain. Anyway, where were we? Todd said, crazy people.
Work hard, get screwed. Be a deadbeat, get rewarded. That's Canada.
Lawn Boy said,
the problem is, the people that run the country never had to work a day in their lives. Entitled lives. Money isn't a big deal if all you have was handed to you by your parents or stolen from the taxpayers.
That's the problem with some politicians. If they've never worked and they've never had money troubles, or like where the next piece of income's going to come from, then how can they dictate to everybody else how they run their lives and how they spend their money? It's like a catch-22. Mad Scientist said,
why haven't we made laws to hold officials paid with tax dollars accountable for outright lying to the taxpayer? The truth should hold more value than money.
It should do, yeah. I don't get how, like, there's a lot of stuff going down in the government at the moment that's being investigated behind the scenes. I might try and, when now Parliament's finished, I might have a look, if you guys are interested, at a few of the investigations that are going on into the Liberal Party, because I watch a few of them on YouTube, and yeah, it's what the questions that they're not answering. It's alarming. Rick said,
never in my life have I seen a more useless employee be more condescending to her employers than Freeland is.
Yeah, we are her employers. The Grey Ghost said,
has anything the Liberals said ever been what they claimed? And I think Jackie is awesome too, and I hope things work out for her.
I do as well. Things should work out well for her, as long as she keeps up with the payments, because when she stops them payments, the bank will come on you, and the government, even though they want their cut, they won't bail you out. They won't help you. They'll just take the reward. Our Fast Cat said,
we know a lady who lives in a 460 square foot house on a small piece of property. Her husband died about 15 years ago and she lives on approximately $24,000 a year pension. Her mother died and left her the old family home. She's now one of the wealthiest 1% who will be paying an extra carbon tax.
Yeah, so because she's got that, because she's been given those homes, where does she handed down those homes, where does she find the money to pay the to pay the tax on that, eh? The capital gains tax. Arnold Mooney said,
Jackie would make a nice neighbour.
she is a good neighbour. Mark Fair said,
An interview on reality in Canada. My friends own 3 houses. 2 he built himself with his own hands, and the last one he bought and fixed it up. His wife is a nurse, and he is just a self-taught handyman. Wow. Freeland wants a chunk of their retirement plan. You will own nothing and be happy. I prefer to own something and be happy.
yeah, that's pretty cool, Mark, the way he's taught himself how to do everything, bought homes, spent countless hours that you can't even add up, and God knows how much money to do them homes up. And then if he does eventually sell them to get the profit on his efforts, he gets dinged on it. So somebody's excited. Come to the park. Somebody's excited.
Yeah, very excited. Very excited.
Think you'll go in the lake?
Yeah. No. Stay.
Cheers, see you, buddy. DeCero said,
That was a brilliant piece, my friend. Nicely done. Now if only the twits in Ottawa could understand this.
Taking Back Canada with Katie said,
Guitar, man. It's so great to see you doing a backyard interview. Love it.
thanks, Katie. Thanks for that. Mike said,
I wish I could pay capital gains. Many of us work hard and will never own a house. You make children joint owners, no capital gains. Hard to feel sorry for people with cottages.
people with cottages have had them handed down through the family. I don't have a cottage. I've never been in that situation, obviously, because I don't have, extended family in Canada. We do have a little bit of family in Canada, actually, but I don't have extended family here. As for buying a home, well, the bank owns it. The bank owns Jackie's home. She doesn't own the home. The bank own it. And the bank own your home, probably, if you're paying a mortgage on it. If you default on that mortgage, the bank won't hesitate to sell it from underneath you. But if you own a second home and you don't pay on it, the bank will take that as well, obviously. But the government won't help you out if you don't pay your mortgage or if you fall back on the bills. No, they won't help anybody out. What they'll do is they'll just take the profit at the end. They won't have any of the worry. They'll just say, oh, look, you sold that for so much money. Can we have 66% of it, please? Thank you. And not even can we. We will be taking most of your profit. And we won't even make any investment in it. Yeah, people sometimes don't get that bit. Canada is not ready to vote. Are you ready to make a decision? Trudeau says you are not. Yeah, Trudeau says that we're not ready to vote. Are you ready to vote? I'm ready to vote. I'll vote tomorrow. How about now? How about now? I'll go and vote now. No, not now. Todd says,
I am ready for an election right now. Well done, Todd. Trudeau must go, and I and many other Canadians are ready to vote him out. I challenge every Canadian to make their vote count. Let's make this the highest voter turnout in Canadian history. Take back our country from this fool.
ooh, getting a bit warm. To open the window, got a breeze now. It's not as warm today as it was last few days. It was in the 30s last few days. It's in the mid-20s now, which I like. I like that sort of weather. It's good. I don't mind the odd hot push, heat bubble, but yeah, I like the weather as it is now. User said,
I could be out to vote in 15 minutes, my friend. We cannot get rid of this mess fast enough.
wasting your taxes since 2015. Shocking what Trudeau wants to spend our taxes on instead of Canadians. I made this video and I put a few clips of Trudeau talking. Actually, I said it was in Italy, and he's talking about making the weather better by giving money to other countries so they can help the weather get better. So on the one hand, he's talking about bringing in capital gains tax and all other taxes, and then on the other hand he's telling everybody where he's going to spend the tax, which is in other countries. However, he mentioned the weather and YouTube got upset and they started blocking a few of my videos. So that and Friday's video got blocked. Not blocked, but I'll show you here. So it doesn't get pushed as much, so it doesn't get shown to as many people, so people don't watch it, even though I do a video almost every day except Saturdays usually at 9 o'clock. Schweig said,
25% of Canadians living in poverty. Let that sink in while you watch this guy give all our money away.
That's what I was trying to say. But YouTube sort of didn't like it. I don't think they like the truth. I like YouTube as a platform. I've said that before. It goes out to a huge wide audience, but sometimes they just get a little bit fussy on what people can say. Film to sound.
Trudeau and freak stuff talk a big game, but life isn't a game for Canadians. It has become about survival.
Yeah, let's finish on that. Till next time, guys.